Hello Internet, what is going on? It is Ivan and today we are playing some Team Deathmatch on the map Meltdown. Pretty nice gameplay, so I hope you enjoy. Going to be talking about depression today, and depression is pretty heavy, so I hope I don't get you down. Depression is one of the questions that I did in my final paper of my abnormal clinical and forensic psychology module in college, and it's an interesting topic, albeit sad. It's just something that I thought I'd like to talk about. So I've covered it fairly well. I've actually had, I suppose, my own personal experiences with depression, which I suppose isn't easy to talk about, especially on the internet. First, I'll talk a little bit about depression. So there are different types of depression, such as bipolar disorder, SAD, chronic depression, to name a few. So SAD, if you've never heard of it, is seasonality affect disorder, and it basically affects your mood at the different times of the year. So around autumn and winter, people tend to be more depressed who are suffering from SAD, and in spring and summer they tend to be happier. Then chronic depression is just chronic depression, and bipolar, there's mania, and then you have depression, and some people have hypomania and chronic depression, so it's very, very, very low, very, very, very high. One thing that we'd always see with bipolar disorder in the texts and everything was that people who suffer from bipolar enjoy the break from depression that is the mania, kind of even adds more to their mania. Now mania, don't be taking this as a maniac or insane or anything like that, it's just ecstatic, super, super happy, too happy. One thing that I didn't grasp until I came to college and started studying depression was that people can actually be depressed for seriously long periods of time, for months at a time. It's just something that I myself didn't really comprehend, and as I said, I have had my own personal experience with depression, but for me it was always the 2-week period in or around. And not to belittle anyone who's been depressed for 2 weeks, it's tough, and at the time you'd be very upset, and you know, you don't want to do anything, you're very antisocial, you don't want to go outside, you just want to stay inside, watch TV and listen to music. But for someone to be like that for such a long period of time, for me was very difficult for me to kind of grasp that concept. Recently I watched a documentary on Reddit. It was about people jumping off the Golden Gate Bridge, and I just found it quite upsetting that someone could be in such a dark place that they think the only answer for their problem is to commit suicide. And it is upsetting to think about. There are more people killed every year in Ireland due to suicide than there is to car crashes, and if you live in Ireland you'll have definitely noticed it, and if you've ever been to Ireland you might have noticed the amount of advertising there is for road safety and prevent car crashes and all this kind of stuff, and there's just not as much of an emphasis on trying to address people who would be depressed and upset and would be in danger of this. Which brings me to the most important part of the video, and I'm just going to give a little bit of advice on, for anyone out there who is a bit depressed, what's, I suppose, a good kind of way to deal with it. There are loads of different things you can do. The first thing you have to do is talk to someone. Genuinely think you just have to talk to anyone, whoever it is, be it a doctor, a family member, a friend, anyone, girlfriend, boyfriend. Talk to anyone about it, and that's definitely a load off. It's nice, it's, you know, to kind of get it off your chest. It's a good thing to do. But I mean, there's nothing wrong going to a doctor and asking them for help. I mean, that's what doctors do, they help. But there's loads of other different things you can do. I mean, for me, listening to the right kind of music, so listening to upbeat music is good. I watched Modern Family. It did help me to not be so depressed, which is great. You need some kind of relief. And then when I did talk to someone about it, and I went to the doctor and I got antidepressants. Now, antidepressants don't make you happy, they just make you not depressed, but that is great. I mean, it's a great kind of starting point, and when you're not depressed, you're not nervous about going outside or going into town or going to the shop. You'll want to you'd be more on for socializing, and that's great. That is fantastic, and that's the kind of kick, I suppose, that I needed to get out of it. And when you get out of it, when you get out that initial kick out of it, the best thing to do is kind of go and socialize with people, talk to people, meet up with people, make plans with your friends and do stuff like that, because it'll help you stay out of it and make you happier, and you'll be fairly exuberant after being depressed for such an amount of time. So just one last piece of advice, and this is to relate it to people, not directly to people who are depressed, but to other people. Just try to be nice to people. I mean, you know, the odd smile, or someone dropped their jumper and picking it up and giving it to them, or saying hi to someone who says hi to you, or, you know, just the simplest, smallest things, which mean absolutely nothing to you, could mean the world to someone else. Try not to be a dick. I mean, there's no reason to be an unnecessarily huge dick on the internet just because some guy reposted a thing on Reddit that you've seen before, but he might not have seen before, or she might not have seen before. So try and be nice as opposed to being a dick. So guys, that pretty much wraps up the video. Thank you so much for watching. Just coming to the end of my gameplay here, and had a good gameplay for once. Don't get a huge amount of them, but when I do, I'm not recording. Luckily I have theatre mode, so just saved by the bell there. But thanks a million for watching. If you do like my videos, you know, please subscribe. I do release them fairly regularly, and you know, leave a comment or a like, and I will get back to you pretty much as soon as I get back onto YouTube. I love reading comments. It's really nice. I love replying to them. It's lovely getting likes as well, because you know, it makes it video feel worthwhile. So just blabbing on here at the end, and I really hope you enjoyed the gameplay and the commentary, and if you did, just let me know. So yeah, so I'll see you guys in the next video, and thanks again.